Hey, hi everybody, welcome. It's Lori again, and here we are. You would have completed now 11 weeks going into week 12. So very cool. I'm really proud of all of you for sticking with this and continuing to walk your journey and make this happen, right? It comes from us, and tonight in week 12, we're actually going to find out where does this all come from and what's it about and how do you reach your goals? How do you reach anything in life that you want to have, right? So tonight we really talk a little bit about that, and I like to say here's where I give you the secret. This is the one secret to being healthy or having the body you want or the health that you want. So I kind of joke about, hopefully you showed up for this one because here is the secret. But let's get into it. Quick review from last week. So you were, for part of the week or maybe the whole week, no processed foods, right? And again, there's many things that would be considered not in its natural state, but are still very healthy for us. One of the things is fuel. It's a great protein substitute, of course, to have, besides the meats and the eggs for protein, but maybe you stopped eating deli meats like salami or bologna or different, hot dogs. You didn't have any of that. That's something really processed that probably has a lot of things not too great for us. So that was something to do. And you were maybe going to check the grams of fiber because we talked about the importance of fiber in our system last week. And again, for myself, I know when I hit a plateau, I would have to really then pay attention to another piece of the health puzzle. Fiber is one of those pieces. It's very, very important. And often if something isn't quite right in your systems, fiber might be the next thing you need to look at. And so you were to do that and slowly by the end of the week get to 25 grams of fiber, right? So I hope that you did well with that. You can always post these questions on our group, Automatic Body Getting Lean Warriors. Ask. It's so important. So tonight, going into your week 12, talking about where the power is going to come from to make this happen, right? It's inside us, right? Wherever you want to say, in your mind, in your soul, in your heart, it doesn't matter, right? But, there's a quote here, at the end of it, the mind is everything and what we think we become, right? There's a very similar quote from the Bible, very similar to what Buddha says here, right? About, what you think you become, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about that and just start you thinking about what you've gone through over these last 11 weeks, right? And again, you've just opened the door. It's very important for you to understand you've opened the door a tiny crack to what's available to you, right? You've had a taste, and so you want to keep this up to fully experience everything you can achieve. So, what benefits have you noticed from this hard work that you've put in, right? Sometimes we're impatient as humans and we want results. We need to see results, right? Do you have the faith to know what you're doing is going to pay off, even though you don't see that payoff immediately? That's really something very important for many of us to learn. And boy, if it's a lesson we can instill into our children, wow, we've really put them on a good path. But, thinking about this, what are the benefits that you've noticed from your new habits? Here's a few, and you might have others. Clothes are fitting differently and better. Maybe you're getting complimented from other people. You have more confidence. You walk with your shoulders a little bit straighter, right? Maybe there's some peace inside of you. Maybe, for me, that was a big thing. The struggle with myself of just totally in a battle with myself all the time about what I was doing and what I wasn't doing, right? Maybe you have more energy. You're just noticing physically how good you feel. Are you sleeping better, which fits into having more energy? Maybe you're more peaceful. These are all important things. Just overall feeling better, right? You may have many different things that you've noticed already, but these are very important things for you to focus on, right? Sure, maybe you've still got 20, 30, 40 pounds to lose. Yes, you can focus on that, but that sometimes keeps those 20, 30, 40 pounds hanging around. When you focus on the good things that have happened to you, you get more of that, right? So more confidence, more peace, your clothes fitting even better. focus on those things and you will get more of it. What you think, you become, right? So those are some key pieces. We're going to talk here a little bit about what happens in our mind and your mind's picture and how very, very powerful it is. When we talk about that mind's picture, what I'm actually meaning is it's about creating a memory. You know, aren't you fascinated sometimes how you can have siblings and you have been at the same event, but you all have different memories about it that have really been imprinted on your brain, in your mind, and they might be all different. And I find that amazing. You all were there experiencing the same thing, and yet the imprinted picture or memory in our mind is different. Why is that, right? What happens, and how are memories created? How are those pictures created? And where I'm going with this is you need to now create this picture, this memory in your head of you, right? A mind's picture. And, again, you can call it this memory, but it's like an imprint in your brain of your lean self, of who you are. So there's actually some specific things that happen to create a memory. So first off, your senses get involved. Something stimulates your senses. You hear something, you see something, you touch something, you smell something, you taste something. It could be anything around this, right, that stimulates one of your senses, maybe several of them at the same time, right? But then when that happens, an emotion is created. So then something happens deep inside us, this wave of some kind of an emotion happens. Not sure which one it is, right? But then after those two things, the third thing is we tell ourselves a story about that emotion, right? And again, this could be something very positive or negative. So, I have an adult one, it's years old now, but I won't forget it. So it was always in the fall going out and having to clean up the yard, and you wait too long and then it's dark in the evening and you can't see anything. And so we had a garden shed and I had to go get something from the garden shed, and it was dark. I didn't take a flashlight, of course. So I'm reaching around, and one of my things about this garden shed was always, we sometimes forget to close the door, and I think, how do you know an animal is going to get in there sometime and just kind of hunker down and get into the shed. And so I'm in there in the dark one evening feeling around, and I'm behind the door, and I feel something soft and furry, right? So my senses are stimulated. I couldn't see anything, but my sense of touch was stimulated, right? And then an emotion was created. In my case, it was fear, right? Because what's the story I tell myself? Sure enough, some kind of little rodent or a big rodent got in here, right? Like I wasn't thinking, because what I felt was like almost, up to my shoulders. But anyway, what I ended up touching were all of the soft, fuzzy golf covers on the golf clubs, right? So, but how fast it happens, right? I didn't think that it wasn't an animal because it was so high up. But that memory of the fear, right, that I felt, I'll always remember it was imprinted strongly in my brain, right? So you can actually create pictures in your brain or memories by using these three things, right? So when you can involve your senses, such as seeing something, let's say, for example, and then you create an emotion by what you've seen. And let's say it's a wonderful emotion. It's excitement, it's desire, it's hope, right? It's happiness. And then you tell yourself a story about that emotion, right? That creates a very positive picture in our brain. And this is very, very powerful, because the more we put this type of thing into our brain, the more it will play out on the screen of our life. It's very cool. So I'm going to move into now, something I'm telling you, it's the statement of truth, right? This is it. This is the secret to everything you want in life, including the health that you want to have, right? The type of body that you want to have, right? So we start out, we all want, when you join this 12-week challenge and get the Automatic Body program, what you're striving for, I hope, is something called lean. You want a lean, healthy body, right? The right amount of muscle, the right amount of fat on your body. So follow along. Leanness, or being lean, is the natural side effect of good health. So you see, you don't even focus on being lean. If you focus on good health, the natural side effect or consequence is that you'll be lean. Okay? But now we want to go, good health is actually the natural side effect of excellent nutrition. Okay, so now we leave good health alone and we focus on excellent nutrition. And what's slowly going to happen as a consequence is we'll have good health, and that leads us to being lean. Okay? But now, excellent nutrition is also a side effect of something, and it is our habits and our choices. Right? So, you know, when you're thinking about excellent nutrition, well, we have to develop these habits and we have to make certain choices. So then that's what we focus on. Right? But you're probably guessing with one more arrow, that's not actually the end of it. It's not the bottom. It's not the cornerstone. It's not the foundation of what this is all built on, right? Because habit and choices are simply a reflection of who each of us is, right? So who are you? Are you a lean, healthy person? Do you see that in your head? Or what do you see? An incapable person who can't exercise because you're always too tired or you're too busy to prepare meals? What is it you're telling yourself? Right? So although we're all here to be lean, it's the last place we should be starting. It's the furthest from the place we should be starting. Where we should be starting is, who are we? Who am I? Right? I'm a lean, healthy, capable woman, right? Who knows how to take control of my eating and so many other things, right? Because when I do that, I can make habits and choices that will lead me to excellent nutrition. And that excellent nutrition will create good health without me realizing it. And that good health is going to create a lean, strong, beautiful, sexy body. So where does this all start? It starts with who you are. You know, and it goes back to one of those weeks I asked you to write out in words, to paint yourself as who you are, or who you are when you are lean and clean and healthy. Right? What did it look like? What did it feel like? How do you walk? How do you stand? How do you react in situations? How do your clothes fit, right? That little statement right there was very, really key. And maybe you didn't do it, and I hope that you might go back and do it now. But we're going to talk now about another way to do this as well. So all of these benefits that you've been feeling, I've given you some ideas here, but you need to think of the ones that are most important for you, that really resonate with you. And I want you to pick 4 of them. And you can create something called a vision board. And it helps you associate this, the new you. It's not even the new you. It's the real you, right? It's actually the real you, right? And I'm going to show you how that's going to work, right? Because, you think about all these foods, and the one that stands out for me, of course, is the middle one, that sweet, beautiful cake, right? That was me, a total sugar addict, right? And all those things that you've now left behind, right? We've created new files and new wiring with who we are now, right? And whether it's people complimenting you, whether it's your energy, whether it's your clothes fitting better, what drives you, right, to be in control and have different responses come up when you're in situations where you would have made choices that aren't so good for your health? What are the benefits? What are the things that drive you to keep going to be lean, right? And when you can come up with those 4, what we're going to take is we're going to put them into something called this little vision board. So I've got this picture here I put up. This is a very old one of mine. As you can see, it's been taped together. It's actually the first one I ever made in my life. And there were 4 benefits of my journey, right, that I picked. One was pride, one was success, there was peace of mind, and there was confidence. pride is a good thing. It can be a very good thing. And I wanted to have pride in what I saw when I looked in the mirror. That was important to me. You know, and I created some pictures. I created something visual to stimulate my sight, right, my sense of sight when I saw this. Success. You know, for me, my struggle with overeating, it kind of ties into confidence, which tied into me not being successful in many other areas of my life. And so, you know, I put some pictures up there, right, like the gecko guy. You know, he's such a successful guy, and I'm at least as good looking as he is. So I know I can be successful. My goal was to always work from home. I wanted to get rid of the job and have that flexibility of being my own business owner. And when I did have a ton of money, let's say as one sign of success, I'd have a lot of shoes. I think I could have a shoe fetish. You know, so again, those were things that stimulated some of my senses to look at this, and it created some emotions for me, right? Desire, hope, right? Peace of mind. Again, I talk about me always being at war with myself. So there are some things there to create some calmness in me, which is now how I feel much more, right? And then that other part, that confidence, just kind of tired of being a lie in my life, you know, where people really thought I was such a confident person. And like for myself inside, I wasn't. It was such a lie. So those were important things for me to gain from my journey to losing weight. These led me to create emotions that I could tell myself a story about, right? So that it really made an imprint on my brain. Today I've made another board, right? And this one is still even, I guess, a year old now, as it's 2015. But, you know, it was very different as things had changed in my life over the past year. But I created, you know, another one with many different things on it for me. And it's been great to have a lot of these things accomplished, you know, and some still to work with. But it, you know, again, it's that whole piece of imprinting on your mind, right? Very, very powerful for you to do this. If you're struggling with moving on, some of it might be this. It's just what you're thinking in your head about yourself. So go back and focus on the benefits you've achieved from what you've done so far and put them into something to stimulate one of your senses. Maybe you make a recording on your phone that you listen to every morning and every night. Maybe it's your sense of hearing. Maybe it's your sense of sight, like me, and a vision board. Doesn't matter what it is. Put it into your mind through one of your senses. It'll create an emotion, and you will tell yourself a story about it, right? Closing off here, right? I am the captain of my soul. I am the master of my fate. For my thoughts and feelings are my destiny, right? From a beautiful, beautiful poem, if you know where that's from. You know, go ahead and create a visual benefits board. Again, maybe it's recording your own voice, talking what you've written down about yourself. It doesn't matter what it is. Find one of your senses to stimulate. Usually it would be, you know, hearing it. Maybe you're reading something. Maybe you need to see the pictures, the visual pictures like I did, right? But I really highly recommend that you do something like this. And again, just a few things for you to think about, right? Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. And here again, we've just opened the door. Where are you going from here with everything you've done so far? And I like that. You've got three choices in life. You give up, you give in, or you give it all you've got, and you deserve it. Remember that. So sometimes that's the hardest thing, is we don't feel we deserve it. And of course, Nelson Mandela, there is no passion to be found playing small in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. We are so capable. We truly are so powerful. Our minds are so powerful, and we just don't tap into enough of it. But I'm telling you, this whole journey on wanting to be healthy, it's way more than just focusing on fat loss and losing weight. Yes, there are all the technical pieces, like eating the right foods, eating at the right time, eating the right amount, getting the right amount of water, right? But this is all tied together with our emotions and our thoughts and the words that we use to ourselves. That's what holds it together, right? Very important. You know, the belief cycle, you know, where you start with a belief, right? The amount of belief you have determines the amount of potential you will tap into. Okay, so if you've got some belief, you're going to have this much potential, right? And then the amount of potential will determine the amount of action you take. And the amount of action you take will determine the results you get. What do you want? How big do you want this to be? Get back up here and start here then. It's in our mind. We create it in our mind. Create that picture, this most beautiful, brilliant picture you can create, because it goes around this circle and comes back right to results. So that's what I'm leaving you with on week 12. Our group, it doesn't mean this is over. You can go back and watch week 1. I often have a lot of people tell me, you know, you didn't say that the first time I listened to it. Well, now that you're listening to a recording, I did say it, but often it's just too much all at once, and we only hear what we're ready to hear. So you might learn more things from even going through this again. But please reach out through Facebook and our group and post lots of questions there. Post your successes. Post what you're struggling with. That's what we are here to do, is to walk you through that. And believe me, most of us have already walked through it, and we'll maybe have something that we can offer to help you. So it's been great having you around for the 12 weeks. Remember, you're worth it. Thanks, everybody. Bye.